And this competition replay was sent in by the user Mr. Hood. That is Mr. Hood. Then he's ran the ELC AMX on a standard battle on the Serene Coast. ELC AMX being a tier 5 light tank for the French. It's that one that is incredibly fast. It's like a little drag racer, but it has that turret that only traverses a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. As you can see there, more like a tank destroyer in that regard. That looks like about maybe, what, 20 to 30 degrees of traverse for the turret. Not very much at all. So this thing has to be used kind of like a sword or a knife. Almost like you are stabbing the enemy. You kind of have to charge towards them, fire, and then veer off at the last second. Or use it more like a tank destroyer in a position like this, where you can spot out the enemy as they approach, have a shot, and then maybe back off. Going to focus in on this T1 Heavy here. T1 Heavy stops in the perfect location for Mr. Hood to land some damage on him. And as you can see, they have a decent cannon. They are only a tier 5 tank, but the 170mm of penetration and 240 average damage. The only downside they've got to play with is the rather long reload at 12 seconds and the rather long aim time. As you can see, a long time before the reticule started closing in there. Unfortunately, that one not quite landing on the T1 Heavy. Him being left with just 7 hit points. A little bit unfortunate there. Looks like the allies haven't quite arrived on this side yet. Looks like most of them electing to take a further back position. So Mr. Hood just going to do the smart thing of back off himself. Let this KV-1 take up some of the slack and get himself into a safer position. I'm going to try and find this T1 that has actually already been taken out, so never mind that. I'm going to set up in this position to see if anybody's going to come through the centre. There was an E8 Sherman lurking around that way, and as you can see, an SU-100 as well. Looks like they do have a Chaffee moving in from the rear of this SU-100. And he takes him out pretty nicely. And the E8 Sherman as well is going to be under fire any moment now. He's going to allow his gun to close in and gets a lovely shot through the rear of that E8 Sherman. The VK-3001 turns up now. Finds an ELC AMX in the distance there, but that shot's going to be a little bit too far, especially for the aim time of this gun. So Mr. Hood gonna make a move up this right-hand flank. There is still this KV-85 in here, but everybody seems to be making a beeline for the centre for some reason. Even though nobody is left in there, everybody bailing down into the lower area. Finds a tree falling on the right-hand side, knows that's going to be the KV-85, so he's going to be cresting over that hill any moment now. So going to try and come in behind him and do a little bit of damage. Unfortunately, it's going to take 4 shots, more than likely, to take him out. And is he going to have the ability to stay safe for that many shots? Gets 1 good hit on the KV-85. Luckily, he's got some great terrain between himself and the KV-85. He backs off, traverses his turret in this direction, but he knows he's not going to be able to land a shot on the ELC, so he continues to go forward, bailing down into the central area as well. Oh, just about misses that shot there, and the KV-85 continues to push forward. Got to be careful, got to be aware of where that turret is pointed. Still got the rear armor. Not sure if the KV-85 knows that he's being followed like this. Has a good shot at him there, and he's got to be careful now that the turret starts to swing around. Going to try and stay in close here, because if the KV-85 doesn't have the gun depression, I don't think he does. Not sure he's actually got the gun depression to be able to hit the ELC. It looks like he hasn't. So as long as the ELC can stay tucked in beside him like this, there's going to be nothing the KV-85 can do. And that is going to be all she wrote for the KV-85. He gets taken out. An excellent, excellent piece of play there from Mr. Hood, knowing, or at least hoping, that the KV-85 wouldn't have the gun depression to be able to get his gun on target with the ELC in close like that. And as you can see, he's already started the rage in chat. Looks like the base is being captured. The allied team's been pushed quite heavily on this right-hand side. ELC is dueling on the left there with a Fury. There's a T150 here. Got to be careful. T150 can be very difficult to damage with its superior armor. No problem for the cannon of the ELC. He gets taken out. Looks like Mr. Hood is going to try and flank around the side, and there's a great conversation going on in chat there. If you missed it, just rewind a little bit and reread that. It did give me a chuckle when I was watching it the first time. So Two heavy tanks and an AT2 squaring off against the Allies over that cap circle. The Allies have now drawn the game in their favour at 10 kills to 9. The two guys on that far left-hand side have just mopped up almost everybody except that Sturmpanzer 2. Now they've just got to deal with these guys here, but it looks like Mr. Hood's gotten around behind them without them noticing. Probably should go for, well, goes for the Churchill 3 first. So he was the furthest back. It's the ninja maneuver, take out the guy at the back first so that nobody else notices, especially if they're in sniper mode. Going to focus on this AT2 now. AT2, I think, notices at the last second that he's in trouble, but he gets taken out by Mr. Hood. Now he's going to come in behind this KV-1. He has no idea what's about to happen. He's going to get himself taken out. Just got to wait on this gun reload and hope that he's got the alpha damage to get him. Doesn't matter if he hasn't got the alpha damage to get him because he sets him on fire, and that is kill number 5. Only this T-34-85 and a Sturmpanzer 2 left. Sturmpanzer 2's been spotted in the south there, and this T-34-85 in the centre. T1 Heavy not looking very healthy, but then again, neither does the T-34-85. Got to be careful because if he has that derp cannon, he will be able to end Mr. Hood's game very, very quickly. Looks like he takes out the TOG. And Mr. Hood has his shot and goes flying past. T-34-85 missed his shot. He's got to try and stay alive for this 12-second reload. Decides to stop running and hide behind the water tower here. Going to line himself up if he can get the shot on the T-34-85. Does get a hit on him, but not quite able to do any damage. T-34-85 starts to take some damage from the rear. He doesn't have the derp cannon. Gets his track taken out, decides to use that repair kit to fix it. He just needs one good shot on this T-34-85. He gets hit again, only got 61 hit points. It would be nice if he can take him out for the Top Gun medal. There we go, kill number 6, Top Gun medal, 2,500 points of damage, and the victory. So absolutely awesome replay there from Mr. Hood. Thank you very much for sending that one in.